Welcome to Proud Brickfoot. This is Sean. So, what do you get when you combine a 6-hour road trip, 2 Lego stores, 1 Lego resupplier, a couple Walmarts, a couple Targets, 2 old Army buddies in the greater St. Louis area? One great weekend haul. See how my weekend went, and remember, like, share, and subscribe. So about once a year I get together with some old Army buddies, talk about old times, war stories, kick back a few beverages, smoke some cigars, eat some good food, and discuss life in general. And the conversation turns to Lego, of course. And I know my friend's wife has a daycare service, and she has a really nice display downstairs. Basically, it's a SpongeBob SquarePants theme inside an old, hollowed out, wooden cased TV, old school TV, and it just looks amazing. And she talked about how her son, had tons of Lego, and had the Lord of the Rings set back when he was a kid, and that she was trying to put it back together, and yada yada yada. And I said, well, let's go check it out and see what we can do. I can help you, and maybe we find some old pieces and whatnot. Dig out the closet, and there's a bunch of Lego, a bunch of boxes, minifigures, the whole 9 yards. I'm pretty impressed already. And we see all the old instruction kits, and they're just sitting there. And then plops down is Star Wars stuff. And there is the original black and blue TIE Fighter, the very first one from Star Wars. And I'm like, all right, hold up. If you got this kit in here somewhere, we're going to go build it tonight. So we basically took all the Lego downstairs and dumped it out and basically commenced to building the original Star Wars Lego TIE Fighter. And everybody's like, hey, look for this piece and find these pieces. And we're just having a grand old time. And we ended up putting it all together, missing a few pieces, but we managed to, put in some other ones in its place. And we were pretty proud of our work. And we decided, you know what, there's a Lego store in town. We're going there tomorrow morning. So we made a plan to head out in the morning and check out the Lego store and some other odds and end things. And that's pretty much how the first night went. It was a pretty fun time. So the next morning we're off to the Lego store. My goals were the Batwing, Ecto-1, and the ECS A-Wing, followed by anything Star Wars and odds and ends that you can't find at the local Targets or Walmarts. We had the Coliseum, Ninjago, City Garden, and Sesame Street on display. And the stock was pretty much depleted of all the new stuff, so there was just the older things there, but it was still a joy to see. I decided to try to pick a brick wall and try to see if we can find some pieces to put my Proud Brickfoot sign logo together, as well as the extra pieces from the TIE Fighter, the original one that we were working on the night before, and just enjoy the scenery and what we could find while we're there. So what did I get from the Lego store, you say? Well, I hit the pick a brick wall. First time, actually. Overwhelmed, but got a bunch of pieces. The yellows are big for my Proud Brickfoot. Got a couple connectors, got some angle brackets, and basically just filled it up with a bunch of little stuff. Nothing exciting. Didn't find the piece we were looking for the TIE Fighter, though. And they didn't have anything but the A-Wing. Not a big fan of the A-Wing. I've been dragging my feet on it, but it's Star Wars and there was nothing else, so I decided to pull trigger on this one. Pretty excited to build it, so keep your eye out for that. I'll have a build review later. But overall, the Lego store was a success. And while we were checking out, we asked the guy at the counter and said, hey, is there any aftermarket stores in town? And he pointed out a doozy. And that's what's coming up next. So we were directed to the Minifig Shop in Kirkwood, Missouri, where they boast over 2,000 minifigs in the store at any given time. And I'm here to tell you, Lego stores are one thing. I don't have any nearby, so they're always a joy whenever I can find one. But if there's a quality aftermarket resupplier, those places are like heaven on earth. I mean, they have old, hard to find things, stuff that you never dreamed of wanting. Just seeing it there was just amazing. And right in the middle of the store, they just set up about a 4x8 display of all the late 70s, early 80s space themed stuff, all the blues, every astronaut. It was just amazing. They had the yellow castle just sitting there all made up. I mean, that's just amazing to see. They had, Darth Maul's bust, hard to find. First time I've ever actually even seen it out in the wild. Some old Batman stuff, the Technic stuff. It was just, the sky's the limit. Star Wars, you name it. And then our friends and I, we just dug through their mounds and mounds of extra pieces to try to fill up about a 1.5 pound bag, where we were able to secure all the pieces we were missing from the TIE Fighter from the night before. I was able to get a lot more pieces for my Proud Brickfoot logo mural that I'm building. My friend's wife was able to get some more SpongeBob SquarePants for her display. So it was just an awesome outing. And I will say, if you're ever in Kirkwood, Missouri, or just passing through, I highly recommend checking them out. Great service, great people, great store, wonderful atmosphere. You won't be disappointed. So how we do at the Minifig Shop? Well, let's just say, I don't know if it was a good thing we were there after the Lego store, or would have been better before the Lego store, but we were able to find our pieces for the TIE Fighter. So we got a bag. It ended up being about 1.5 pounds. I'm building a Proud Brickfoot mural wall thing that I'm putting together, so I needed to get a bunch of pieces for that, get a Mills plate together. We needed the TIE Fighter pieces. We got the TIE Fighter pieces. Grabbed a bunch of odds and end things. I first assumed fill a bag, it was the same price, kind of like pick a brick wall, but it's based on pounds, so if I'd have known that, probably got out of there faster. But it was still fun. Friends were digging through it, and we made a pretty good deal. So my son and I really enjoy making the Technic, the cars, the 1/8 scale cars. And that old orange Porsche eluded us. We didn't get into it until afterwards. So we started with the Bugatti, ended up getting the Lamborghini, and then drooling over why we missed out on the Porsche. And if you're following that Porsche, it's very hard to find, and everybody wants to get good money for it out there on the market. So I'm not willing to spend that kind of money. I'm just going to eat it up. So I started doing the Bricklink. Once every other month or so, I would get a bunch of pieces. I was going to piece it together and ultimately have it, a few months, year, whatever. It's just fun, Well, not anymore. This Minifig Shop had a used, fully complete, amazing price. I mean, it was like almost retail price. These guys do not price gouge, and I didn't even hesitate. I told them, box it up. I'm ready. They had a brand new one sitting behind the shelf as well, but like I said, I'm not paying full price for a brand new mint and box. But we got the whole thing. It's all in there, serial numbered. It's got the instruction booklet. It was actually fully assembled, and the night we got home, a couple beverages and a few good stories and loud music later, I disassembled the complete kit and put them all back in the original bags. Well, not original bags, put them back in Ziploc bags in reverse order, in the proper boxes, so my son and I can actually reassemble it as it was designed to, and all the pieces were there. And it was just, I'm telling you what, it was an amazing day. And it wasn't even over yet. So, the goal was, we got that TIE Fighter, and in my mind I thought, man, I could make an awesome video if we can just find the brand new one that just came out and the new X-Wing. But, you can't find them. They sell out. They were gone. So we said, well, let's just hit a couple Target or a Walmart, and let's see if we can get our luck. My other friend, he's a big Transformer guy, so we had a good time. And I tell you what, we got to the first Walmart, and usually I'm a Target guy. Walmart usually doesn't have this stuff, so let's just go to Walmart. And we pull up in there, and we look, the shelves are empty. And then before we walk out, we see these two massive boxes, and they say that Telltale Building Kit Lego on it. And I'm thinking, well, this is just a mixture. And I kind of opened the lid up, and it was all the Mario Brothers stuff. And I thought, you know, I bet you this is an assortment, because like Target puts them in boxes, you know, individually for the kit, and you can look at the number and you know what's in that box. Walmart doesn't do it that way, so I learned a lesson. So I opened that sucker up, and right on top was the X-Wing. I thought, oh my goodness, I think we just hit the jackpot. So I obviously grabbed this one. Well, I didn't grab it. I was playing nervous Nelly, like, oh my God, these aren't on the shelves. I should go ask permission. Good thing I got my buddy. He just grabbed it, walked away, and I said, well, if that's in there, odds are the TIE Fighter's in there. So we got really lucky, and we ended up getting a TIE Fighter as well. So now we all picked up a TIE Fighter, each of us. We each got an X-Wing, and we pretty much had the rest of the day set up for us, because, you know, I was disassembling the Porsche, and then we decided to do a video that I'm about to show you, where my two friends who are kind of, you know, not really experienced in Lego, but they both like it, one put together, completely rebuilt the old TIE Fighter, and the other one was building the brand new one side by side in a speed build. And that's what you're about to see now. So not half a bad weekend, and as you can see, while the boys were doing their speed build, I was doing the alternate build for the TIE Fighter, and I made the TIE Interceptor. I highly recommend you go check it out. It's out there, just Google search it, alternate build. I picked the one with all the pieces that come in the kit. There are some alternates out there where you can bring your own parts to make it a little bit more better. As you can tell, I've had to create a stand for it, because the way that the alternate build is with the pieces that come with the kit, it won't stand on its own. It's not strong enough. So I made a display for it. But headed home and made it back. Had a great weekend. A lot of great buys. Great memories being had. And I think overall, the coolest thing was this right here. I'm driving home, I hit the gas station, and what do I get? My buddy saying, so we decided to tear apart the Lord of the Rings castle, and we're getting ready to put it all back together. And literally, by the time it took me 6 hours to drive home, and they had it all fully put together, all their Lord of the Rings stuff, and it was just an impressive thing. And they found out a valuable lesson also. Those older kits with that reddish brown, red brick, brown brick, they break easy. Well, they learned firsthand that the Lord of the Rings kits had a lot of those colors, and they broke a few, but they were able to make it work and had a great time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Come back later. I'll show you some of these builds from the massive haul that I brought back with me. And take care. Like, subscribe, and share.